Now, over 7,000 cases were reported to the Office of the Banking Ombudsman in the past year. It's a 35% increase compared to the previous year. Joining us for more on this is the Ombuds for Banking Services, Reana Steyn. Reana, a 35% increase in caseload. Is this a good or a bad thing?
Well, we think it's a good thing. I think there's more consumer awareness. I think then it means the banks refer the customers who are unhappy to us. And I think maybe customers found us online. So, yeah, I think it's a good thing.
What types of complaints have been on the increase when you go through the numbers?
Well, the one that really jumped up was the internet banking cases. For the first time ever, that's now the highest category of complaints that we've received. Previously, it was ATMs. ATMs are still the second highest category, and also credit card complaints. But, you know, if you look at those three, internet banking, ATMs and credit cards, they're all fraud related, which means it's crime related.
What does this tell us about the complaints resolution within the banking system itself before it gets to you as the Ombudsman?
Well, I think if you take the figure of 7,000 that we opened last year, I still think that that's a very small percentage as compared to the complaints the banks received, and it means that they've resolved all the others. So I think they are doing a very good job of resolving the complaints before it gets to our office, because 7,000 complaints for the entire country is not a lot.
When we look at these phishing scams and cyber-related fraud that happens within the banking system, what can the banks do more to make sure that these type of complaints are lessened within transactional banking?
I think the fraud departments work very hard on a constant basis. You know, every time there's a new scam, they block it, then there's another scam. At the same time, the banks and our office, I think, can do more to educate consumers. You know, if you think phishing, you know, I think there's a lot of education that needs to happen to tell consumers what to look out for, what not to click, what safeguards they can put in place. So I think from both sides, from the consumer side to educate themselves on what to do and what not to do, how to protect themselves. And I think from the banks also, they are constantly innovating, trying new things, putting new apps and new things in place to try and prevent this.
And how long does the process take? Should a consumer complain about any cybercrime that's happened to them, them complaining and them possibly getting their money back? How long is the period in terms of that happening?
Well, you know, I think let's not look at cybercrime cases only, but the average days to resolve cases in our office was 34 days, which I think is pretty good. So that's the average number of days. 99% of the cases in our office were resolved within 0 to 2 months. So I think, you know, that's a good statistic. Yes, there will always be cases that the exception to the rule, and some cases may take longer if it's very complex. But we try very hard, because we know it's money, it's an emotional issue. We try very hard to do it very quickly.
And those complex cases that you talk about, I mean, how far would a bank have to go to decide, okay, now we need to go to the Ombudsman because your case is complex? What would be a complex case?
Well, of course, it's not the bank that decides to come to us. The bank gives the consumer an answer. So they have an answer for the consumer at some point, you know, in their process. If the consumer is not happy with that answer or with the outcome, then the consumer can decide, I'm going to take it further to the Ombudsman. So I think that is the process. If the consumer at any point is not happy with what's happening or with the outcome, he can bring the case to our office, and then we will start investigating afresh.
All right, something for banking clients to look at there. That was Reana Steyn, the banking service.